Hi, everybody. My name is Abby Cooper. I'm the author of It's a Mom, an instruction guide for babies about how to take care of their new moms. You know, when I was in the throes of new motherhood, I was really lucky. I had a village. I had a lot of people loving me and supporting me in lots of different ways. But I still really struggled as a new mom with a lack of just general resources and support in the world. And one night when I was super delirious feeding Benny, I thought, I wish babies could help out a little bit. I wish they had some tips and could help their moms a little bit. Obviously, it's the mom's job to take care of the baby, but sometimes you just feel like so desperate where you're like, hey baby, how about you do something that would be helpful here? As a reader, I always enjoy reading stories told from an unexpected narrator, and I thought this would be a way to tell a funny story and to give moms and babies something to enjoy together, while also just, casually getting in there that it would be nice if new moms had more support. I just felt like I got to be really silly and vulnerable and honest. There are a lot of parts of motherhood that are fun and sweet and Instagram worthy, and then there are a lot of parts that are just you being a total hot mess, like in every sense of the way. And I think there still can be somewhat of a stigma around that, and people are hesitant to say it's not all rainbows and unicorns, and I just wanted to show that side of it, and hopefully in doing so give others permission to show that side of it as well, and to know that if they experience motherhood in that way, they are not alone. So the one thing I almost didn't include, there's a line about how it's okay if you don't just love your new mom with all of your heart and soul right away, because a lot of people don't. It takes time, and that's perfectly normal and that's perfectly okay. But again, I think there's kind of a stigma around that. Like, there's a lot of people saying that it's supposed to be love at first sight, and then if it's not, you can feel all kinds of bad ways. I almost didn't put it in because I've been influenced, by the internet, by the world, that's saying like you should love each other immediately and passionately and whatever. But that's just not always the case. And so I'm trying to be really vulnerable myself in this book, in the hopes that others will feel okay being vulnerable themselves. Yeah, so I actually was in a new moms group when I first had my son. And we, even after the group ended, we kept in touch through group text, and I bounced a lot of ideas for this book off of them, and I even had them read early drafts. And I still remember one of them told me after reading an early draft that it made her cry because it was the first time in a long time she had felt really, truly seen. And that made me feel really good, because everybody deserves to be seen. So I hope new moms just really feel a sense of love and community, and that this is a universal experience that they're having. So even if they are, physically and emotionally alone, I hope they know that they're not in the grand scheme of things, because so many other people are going through these exact same experiences, emotions, everything. My biggest surprise when I became a mom was just how often you have to do laundry. I like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you kind of know, like, yeah, I'm gonna do more laundry. But then when you actually experience that amount of laundry, like, we were doing so many loads every single day. We had a very spitty baby. And so between like the spit cloths and my shirts and my husband's shirts and sheets, and I mean, you'd think we had a family of like 10 people with the amount of laundry we were doing. I think I would tell new moms, and this is so much easier said than done. And, many people told me and I ignored it. And so, I don't know how helpful it actually is, but I wish I would have been able to give myself a little more grace. And I hope that if anybody watching this is a new mom, just try to give yourself like a teensy weensy bit more. Because you deserve it, because you're figuring it out as it goes along, because your body and mind and heart are going through like a ridiculous amount of things, and you're taking care of a teeny weeny human, and you're like incredible and amazing, and you deserve all of the credit. And if you struggle with giving yourself all of the credit, at least try to give yourself a little more, because you deserve it. I generally write books for middle grade readers. I've got 4 published, and I am in the process of drafting another. I also run a literacy nonprofit here in Minnesota called A Book of My Own. I started it a few years ago, and we ship diverse, age-appropriate, high-interest books directly to kids and families who need them. And that's been a really extra large need lately. So I've been getting out hundreds and hundreds of really wonderful books to kids in our communities who don't own them and should, because everybody deserves to have their own books to read and love.